Hi everyone! So today's video is going to be a makeup look for what I'm wearing right now. It's Valentine's Day this week and I wanted to share with you a makeup look that I think would be perfect for any romantic date night, whether it is Valentine's Day or any other day of the year. I wanted to do something really classic and quite simple with a focus on this amazing cherry red lipstick from Clinique, which I am obsessed with. I love it so much. It's such a gorgeous statement red. So I have paired it with a really glowy, simple skin look, very simple eyes, so it's all about these amazing red lips. I really hope you guys like it. If you do, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for lots more beauty content every single week. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Starting off with a base, I'm going to use this NYX Bear With Me Radiant Perfecting Primer. Now, this is a new product to me, but it's amazing at making your skin look really luminous and glowy underneath your foundation. So I am just going to dot it over my face and smooth it into my skin, making sure I'm not rubbing too much. And it gives this amazing kind of golden glowy finish on the skin underneath your foundation. And then I'm going to be putting foundation over the top. I want quite a light base, so I don't want to make it look like I've got a lot of makeup on. So I'm taking this Bourjois 123 Perfect CC Cream using the colour 31 Ivory, and I love this stuff at the moment. It leaves a really natural glowy finish on the skin without looking shiny, so it just leaves you with a lovely hydrated natural skin look. And I'm going to be working this into my skin with my foundation brush, starting in the centre and working out so you get the most coverage. Make sure my lips are hydrated and ready for lipstick later on. I'm going to be taking my Cranberry Kiehl's lip balm all over my lips to make sure they're super hydrated. Before moving on to concealer, for my under eye concealer I'm taking my Maybelline Eraser Concealer, and I have the number has rubbed off, but I will link it down below. For the rest of my base, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the colour 10. I really like the combination of these two concealers at the moment. The Maybelline Eraser concealer works really well under your eyes for a lightweight coverage, and then I think the Fit Me works really well to sort of give you a bit more coverage where you need it on your face. So I'm just going to use my same foundation brush and work that really gently into my skin, blending out the edges. To set my foundation and concealer in place, I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and just tap it over my skin to settle the layers between my foundation and concealer, set everything in place. I think this also gives a really natural finish on the skin, which I think is perfect for date night because you want your skin to look very natural but just really enhanced. And then next up I'm going to go into contouring, so I'm going to take my Revolution Ultra Cream Contour Palette, and then using this sort of slightly grey shade, which I think is really nice for a natural contour, gives you the shadow effect without looking too brown or muddy, especially if you've got very pale skin like I do. So I'm just going to put that in the hollows of my cheekbones using my Sigma angled blending brush, and I'm just going to work that in under my cheekbones, adding as I feel necessary. I don't want a really strong contour. I think that's going to take away from the natural effect that I'm trying to get with this makeup. So that's why I'm using a fluffy blending brush, so it's going to give me a very natural finish once I finish blending it out. Blending out contour, I always try and work downwards rather than upwards to make sure the shadow stays in one place. And then I'm going to add a little bit more definition to my forehead by taking some product on my forehead very lightly. I'm not trying to have a heavy contoured look, and I'm trying not to get it in my hair, which obviously was much harder than it should have been. I wanted to add a tiny bit of definition underneath my chin before adding some highlight back into my Revolution Cream Contour Palette into the really shimmery shade, and then I'm just going to take that with my ring finger and tap it onto the high points of my cheekbones. I'm using cream because it looks really natural, and I also love the fact it's so shimmery because it kind of gives you that lit from within, almost dripping with candlelight type look when you are in lower light, which you tend to be when you're on a date. I'm also going to take some of that highlight and put it on my brow bone before blending out the edges with my Real Technique stippling brush, which has broken, the end has come off, which is why it's much shorter than it should be. Next up for bronzer, I'm going to take my Collection Gorgeous Glow Shimmer Brick Bronzer, which is super shiny and glowy, and I'm going to take my Real Techniques blusher brush, and I'm using this product in a 3 shape on my face. So starting on my cheekbones where we put that contour, before trying not to hit my earring, which was dangling around every time I hit it with my brush, which was a little bit distracting. I'm going to take it over my cheekbones and then across my forehead and down my chin, down my neck as well, to make sure that I don't look like I have a different colour face from my neck, because we don't want that. I love this product because it's super shimmery, so it's really great at giving you that sun-kissed glow. And I'm also taking this over my cheeks as well, just as a sort of a blusher, because I'm not going to be using blusher with this look. I think that would be a bit much with the really strong lips. So I'm kind of taking it all over my face to give a really natural sun-kissed glow. And then I'm going to use just the top shimmery part to add a little bit of highlight onto my nose. So just with the same brush, nothing special. I'm just going to run a tiny bit of it on my nose and on my cupid's bow on my lip, just to give me a little bit of a natural shimmer there as well. My brows, I'm going to be taking my Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and I love this product. I've used it so many times, I've sort of haven't strayed away from it in a while, and I'm going to be brushing my brows up and through with the spoolie end before adding some definition just into the brow arch and the end of my brows. I've found that this has actually been working for me really well recently, not adding as much definition at the front of my brows, instead almost working to give a little bit of a brow lift by concentrating on my brow arch. And I think this looks really natural and really lovely without sort of giving you that drawn on brow effect, which I really want to avoid. So I'm just using tiny flicking motions to mimic the brow hairs working on my brow arch and the tip, before blending that through slightly with the spoolie just to make sure it looks really natural. To set them in place, I'm going to use my Rimmel Brow Gel. Nothing new here. I'm just going to run the brow gel up and through the brows before smoothing the tops over. Onto my eyes now. I'm going to be going back into my Revolution Cream Contour Palette, taking that really shimmery highlight shade on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to take this all over my lids as a really amazing shimmery base. I think this looks really natural because it's the cream, but it's so shiny and bright. It gives you that almost like angelic lit from within look because it is so silvery, and I think it looks really nice with the very bright cherry red lips that we're going to pair with it later. Then I'm going to take a clean fluffy blending brush and go over the edges just to make sure there are no harsh lines. And with what's left over on the MAC 217, I'm just going to take it underneath my eye as well, just to add a little bit of that shimmery colour underneath the eye, but mainly concentrating in the inner corner for an inner corner highlight. Then with a small fluffy brush, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette and taking the colour Tempted, so it's just this matte grey shade. I'm going to use that on the fluffy blending brush just underneath my eye for a little bit of definition. So I took this shadow a little bit past my lower lash line, winging it out slightly towards the end of my brow, and I thought I would zoom in just so you could see what I was doing a little bit more. I'm taking my Laura Mercier eyelash curlers and curling my eyelashes before applying this Maxfactor Masterpiece High Definition Mascara. This is one of my all-time favourite drugstore mascaras. I find it gives really good definition, separates the lashes and gives a really lovely fluttery effect. So I'm not using false lashes today, so I'm just going to do quite a few coats of this, pushing the product into the base of the lashes before fanning out the edges to give a really fluttery effect. And next up for my lower lashes, I'm taking my Maybelline The Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara because I love this mascara for my lower lashes. Next, I decided that I wanted to set my cream eyeshadow in place to make sure it doesn't crease throughout the day, because that's the last thing you want when you're on a date. You don't want your eyeshadow creasing. So I'm just going to set it with some powder. I'm taking my Collection Gorgeous Glow Shimmer Brick Bronzer that I used on my face, and with the really shimmery colour I'm just going to go over my cream eyeshadow to set it in place, make sure the cream doesn't move, and to give a little bit more shimmer because I thought you can't really have too much shimmer on date night. Next up for lips, I'm going to take this MUA Intense Colour Lip Liner in the colour Brooding Plum. It's a really lovely red plummy colour, as the name would suggest, and I am going to be using this to trace the outline of my lips, starting with my Cupid's bow first of all, and then tracing the rest of the outline of my lips before going in to fill in all of my lips with this colour. Just going to speed this process up because it takes me quite a long time to do and perfect. So on to the main event, the lipstick. This is the Clinique Colourpop, and this is in the colour Cherry Pop. As the name would suggest, it's this amazing cherry red lipstick, which I think is so flattering when you're on a date. Time to set my makeup in place so it doesn't move during the evening, and I'm using my e.l.f. finishing powder, taking this underneath my eyes, so concentrating it underneath my eyes so it sets my under eye concealer in place so it doesn't move or crease throughout the evening. And I'm also going to take a little bit of it on the sides of my nose, tiny bit over the top of my nose, a little bit on my forehead T-zone and on my chin. To finish everything off, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Dewy setting spray. It's your makeup in place and it gives a really natural dewy effect. And then before I go out, I'm using my Revolution Skincare Hyaluronic Acid Spray to give my skin a boost of hydration throughout the evening.
So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye!